I think that's a major lesson I've been taking away recently. You know, all of our Fed coverage and more. There's only so much you can do, right? Like here in our business, we can only do so much. So much of it is dependent on gas price. I mean, what impact do you or I have on the invasion of Ukraine? Nothing. Same.
We're out here trying.
Yeah, we're trying,
doing
but
our best.
nothing. And probably more so than the average citizen.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're a normal person, you own like a plumbing business, you know, the Fed is going to have a massive impact on you. Gas price is going to have a massive impact on you.
I mean, the way that I think we always frame it is you may not have benefited much on the way up, but you are going to get hurt on the way down. And the fact of the matter is a lot of our economy is kind of fake.
Yeah.
A lot of it is totally fake. And it reminds me a little bit, not even of the 2008 crash, although there are some significant echoes there, but I was actually thinking about the dot-com crash. When now in retrospect, you look at all these things like pets.com or whatever, and like, that was ridiculous.
It's pretty dumb.
But you've got, because you had these zero interest rates and cash that was just like, you know, from the Fed, total easy money for a decade now, you had companies that were not profitable, but which were able to access loans and funding and had super high valuations with the expectation that one day you'll figure out a business model that'll ultimately work. All that is going away, not to mention so much of our economy is just based on financial engineering. It's not actually, I mean, when we talk about Amazon, at least those companies actually do something. A lot of our economy, a disproportionate amount, is just moving money around. So when all of that froth starts to come out, it is a massive, massive reckoning. And since the Fed policy, it kept interest rates at zero and added on top of that quantitative easing for so long, when you back that off, that has really been underpinning the entire structure of our economy. So I don't think anyone knows. In fact, I know that no one knows exactly what this is going to look like as the Fed continues to hike rates. We're going to cover this tomorrow, but the expectation this week is that the Fed will hike rates another 75 basis points. That's 0.75. That is really significant. Yeah. This will be the second time in a row that they've gone that far. And then the other question is how quickly they're going to unload assets off of their balance sheet. So this is a radically different underlying structure of the economy that we're moving towards.
Yeah, I just looked it up. You know, Uber raised $25 billion before it went IPO. That's not going to happen in the current Fed environment. It's not possible for people to access that amount of cash. The amount of cash that's drying up over Silicon Valley, again, you know, tech has a massive impact on our economy. So slight downturns in Amazon, that impacts everybody's overall stock portfolio. I think we're going to really see a whole rewrite. And, you know, a lot of people, there were some people who wanted to retire early and had big plans. In 2021, they were like, oh my God, my portfolio, all this. And, you know, unfortunately, a lot of this dried up. So that's the real thing is I focus on what it really means for a lot of people who had planned well, you know, did their job, and are now looking at a 30 or 40% decline, and they're like, hey, now I can't do, you know, I need to work for 5 more years. I mean, now I can't, you know, pay for this operation or whatever. These are all terrible choices that a lot of people have to face.
Indeed. Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.